Do you remember a time when the world felt simpler? It was not so long ago. The morning newspaper was delivered to our doorstep, its ink staining our fingers as we read. We listened to news on the radio, or watched it on television at a set time each evening. A phone call was just a voice, belonging to a person we knew. We trusted what we saw with our own eyes, and what we heard with our own ears. This was a world built on tangible things and familiar routines. Trust was often earned through face-to-face interactions, a firm handshake, or a conversation over a garden fence. Now we live in a different reality. The world moves at the speed of a single click. News no longer arrives on a schedule. It floods our screens constantly from countless sources we may not recognize. Our phones are no longer just for calls. They are powerful computers that hold our memories, our connections, and our deepest information. We can see our grandchildren's faces from across the globe, or have groceries delivered with a simple tap. But this speed and connectivity also bring new shadows and new uncertainties that we are only just beginning to understand. A photograph used to be a moment captured in time, a reliable piece of evidence. Today, it can be altered or created from nothing at all. A familiar voice on the phone could once bring comfort and assurance. Now, that same voice can be perfectly imitated by a machine with malicious intent. It is a change that affects all of us, but it presents a unique and urgent challenge for our older generation. We want to demystify this new technology, especially artificial intelligence, and show you what it really means for your safety. Our goal is to provide practical, easy-to-follow advice that empowers you to navigate this digital age with confidence. We will give you the tools to protect yourself and your loved ones from the new kinds of scams that have emerged, ensuring that technology remains a helpful tool, not a source of fear. Technology has always been changing. We have adapted from horse-drawn carriages to cars, and from writing letters to sending emails. So, what makes the rise of artificial intelligence, or AI, feel so profoundly different? The answer lies in its ability to imitate humanity in ways we have never seen before. Previous technologies were mostly tools that performed tasks. A calculator could solve a math problem faster than a human, but it could not write a poem. A car could travel faster than a person could run, but it could not hold a conversation. This ability to mimic human expression is precisely what makes AI a powerful tool for scammers. AI directly targets these fundamental human instincts. Scammers can now use AI to clone a grandchild's voice and create a fake phone call asking for emergency money. Because of this, our older adults find themselves in a uniquely vulnerable position. The social norms they grew up with taught them to be polite. Scammers are now exploiting this inherent sense of trust and community. This essay will serve as your playbook. We will break down exactly how these scams work, and more importantly, what you can do to spot them. In the time before AI and instant messaging, communication had a distinct and predictable rhythm. When the phone rang, it was an event. You had to stop what you were doing to answer. Communication was a focused activity, not a constant background hum. A letter required thought and effort. Find paper, a pen, a stamp, carefully composed, no delete button. The letter's journey from your hand to a mailbox. Personal information was more private by default. No social profiles listing family members. No shared daily routines. Details lived in homes, in communities, in memories, making us much harder targets. Before the internet, the way we learned about the world was physical and tangible. The news arrived in solid form. These sources were finite and curated. A team of editors and producers made decisions about what was important enough to print or broadcast. Trust in media was built on reputation and accountability. Newspapers had names and addresses. If they printed something incorrect, they would print a correction. Television news anchors became familiar, trusted faces that we invited into our living rooms each night. This physical nature of information also meant it was easier to verify. You could look up the company in the phone book. You could call the number listed there to confirm the details. There was a clear visual and textual difference between a trusted newspaper and a cheaply printed flyer. We learned to associate the look and feel of information with its credibility. In the pre-digital era, our circles of trust were forged in the physical world and strengthened through repeated, face-to-face contact. It was earned by the local mechanic. It was earned by the bank teller. It was earned by the friendly local shopkeeper. This community-based trust was a powerful, natural defense against scams. If you received a strange letter asking for money, you might take it to your son or daughter. Furthermore, major life decisions and transactions were almost always done in person. You signed important documents with a pen, often with a witness present. You could read the person's body language. They learned to spot nervousness, evasiveness, or a story that did not quite add up. A scammer on the phone or in an email has no body language to give them away. Putting any potential scammer directly in front of the very person whose finely tuned intuition was their greatest defense. Long before anyone had heard of cybersecurity, there were unwritten rules of safety. These were social wisdom, passed down through generations. In this new world, one of the most unsettling changes is that we can no longer trust what we hear. This technology, known as voice cloning, can take just a few seconds of a person's real audio and create a perfect digital replica. A senior might receive a phone call and hear the panicked voice of their grandchild saying they've been in a car accident. It sounds exactly like them. The voice is crying, scared, and begging for money to be sent immediately via a wire transfer or by purchasing gift cards. They will say things like, "Don't tell mom and dad," further isolating the victim and preventing them from seeking a second opinion. We are now living in the age of deepfakes, a term for hyper-realistic videos or images altered by AI. For example, a scammer could create a deepfake video of a trusted public figure revealing a secret investment opportunity that promises to make ordinary people rich overnight. Seniors, seeing a face they have trusted for years endorsing a product, are lured into a false sense of security and may invest their savings in a fraudulent scheme. Scammers can use AI image generators to create fake profiles. They then use this fake persona to build a relationship with a lonely senior, a tactic known as a romance scam. Once the emotional connection is established, the emergency will inevitably arise, manipulating the victim's feelings to extract large sums of money. Tools like ChatGPT can write emails that are fluent, coherent, and perfectly tailored. AI can now generate flawless messages in any language. You might get an email mentioning your local utility company, warning of a fake overdue bill. When a message uses your name and specific details, your brain assumes it's legitimate. An AI-written email can point you to a website that looks exactly like your bank's login page. You enter your username and password, handing criminals the keys to your account. The influence of AI has even extended to the very devices we use to capture reality, our cameras. It is a version of reality interpreted and altered by a machine. The old saying, "Seeing is believing," has become a dangerous assumption in the age of AI. In the new world of AI, every image we see on a screen carries with it a small but important question mark. The question many older adults ask: do I need to go back to school to learn new technology? The thought of becoming a computer expert can feel overwhelming. The good news, no. You don't need to learn to code. Staying safe online isn't about mastering tech. It's about spotting new tricks. Less like building a car, more like learning the rules of the road. The most important skill is behavioral. Noticing when a message tries to stir a strong emotion. Scammers use urgency, fear, and excitement to make you act without thinking. That sudden rush of panic or thrill, that's your cue to stop. In a world that demands instant responses, the single most powerful tool you have is the ability to pause. Your best defense is to refuse to play their game. When you receive a call, text, or email that demands immediate action, your first move should always be to stop. Banks, government agencies, the police will never ask you to pay for something with gift cards. That request alone is a giant red flag that you are dealing with a scam. After you have paused, the next step is to verify the information independently. Do not use the phone number or link provided. Instead, find the official contact information yourself. The pause is your digital circuit breaker. It is a simple, free, and incredibly effective way to protect yourself. In your own life, you can build a human firewall made up of trusted people you can turn to for a second opinion. Never keep a financial secret. Identify your trusted support network in advance. This could be an adult child, a tech-savvy grandchild, a reliable neighbor. When you receive a suspicious message, use your human firewall. Before you click, before you reply, and certainly before you pay, contact one of your trusted people. Talk with your friends and peers about scams. By sharing information, you not only help yourself, but also protect your friends, who may be targeted by the same scam. Let's create a simple playbook with clear do's and don'ts to help you navigate the digital world safely. First on the list of don'ts, do not trust your caller ID. Another important don't: do not click on links or download attachments in unexpected emails. Next, a critical do. Do use strong, unique passwords. A good trick is to think of a memorable phrase and use the first letter of each word. Finally, a crucial do. Do check your privacy settings on social media. Set your profile to friends only instead of public. This is your digital equivalent of locking your front door. This is the core dilemma of AI, a double-edged sword. On one hand, it holds incredible promise. However, the other edge of the sword is sharp and dangerous. The path forward is not to reject technology or to live in fear of the future. The path forward is calm, deliberate action and a return to common sense. Our first duty is to protect the vulnerable. This is a collective responsibility. We must work together so no one faces these threats alone. Third, call for technology to be designed more thoughtfully. We need technology that respects older people, clearer privacy controls, simpler security features. Ultimately, navigating the age of AI comes down to care and common sense. Care for our parents, care for our grandparents. By acting with patience, empathy, and a commitment to protecting one another, we can build a future where technology serves humanity, and everyone, regardless of age, can feel safe and secure in our new digital world.